In medieval society, justice wasn't about rehabilitation, it was about order. And order was kept through fear. Public executions, mutilations, and humiliations weren't just punishments. They were lessons. For every citizen watching, there were no modern prisons with rights or appeals. If you were accused of theft, heresy, or rebellion, you didn't get a lawyer. You got chains. Before sentencing, prisoners were held in dark, damp cells, sometimes in castle dungeons, sometimes in repurposed towers, sometimes simply in holes. There was no light, no beds, no bathrooms, just rats, cold stone, and the constant drip of water echoing through your skull. And if you were poor or accused of heresy, you stayed there indefinitely, until someone remembered you, or until you died. Food? If you were lucky, a stale crust of bread once a day. Water? Often dirty. Hygiene? Non-existent. But worse than hunger was the waiting. Prisoners knew something terrible was coming, but they didn't know when. In many towns, prisoners were displayed in public, chained in stocks or behind iron bars. Villagers spat, mocked, and sometimes threw stones. It wasn't just punishment, it was entertainment. Torture wasn't hidden, it was law. The rack, a wooden frame that pulled limbs until they dislocated. The Iron Maiden, a coffin lined with spikes, closing slowly on its victim. The pear, a device inserted into the mouth or other orifices, then twisted open from the inside. The wheel near, where bones were broken systematically before the body was left to die under the sun. Each method had a purpose: to extract a confession, punish the body, or terrify the public. Often, all three. The logic was simple. If you're innocent, you'll endure. If you're guilty, you'll confess. That's how trials worked. Judges relied on divine judgment. Trial by fire, trial by water, trial by ordeal. If you survived, God had saved you. If not, well, your soul was judged anyway. When the church took control of punishment, things didn't get softer. They got organized. The Inquisition was formed to root out heresy, to question not just actions, but thoughts. Suspected heretics were imprisoned, interrogated, tortured, sometimes for weeks. And because torture was, for the sake of the soul, it was justified, even holy. Many women were imprisoned not for crimes, but for accusations. Midwives, widows, healers. Any woman outside the norm could be branded a witch. Their trials were short, their defenses ignored, their punishments brutal. Some were drowned, others were burned, all were forgotten. If you confessed, you might be forgiven, but that rarely meant freedom. Executions were public, heads on spikes, bodies hanged at crossroads, burnings in the town square. Crowds gathered like it was a festival, and children watched to learn what happens when you step out of line. Today we look back with horror, but for people in the Middle Ages, this was normal. Justice wasn't blind. It was loud, brutal, and very visible. Because in a world of chaos, the message was clear: obey, stay quiet, and don't get noticed.